David Katzmeyer here, and I'm sitting next to the Vizio E3D0VX series. This is the 42-inch member of the series. There's also a 32 and a 47-incher. This is the least expensive 3D TV on the market. Vizio actually includes two pairs of 3D glasses here, which makes the TV a better overall value than the cheaper 3D plasmas that are available. We'll get to that in a little bit, but first let's take a look at the other features on this TV and its styling. Styling is not really a great point. It has this sort of dimple here in the middle underneath the screen. It kind of interrupts the speaker grill. Altogether a pretty chunky look. The stand, it doesn't swivel. On the flip side, design-wise, we really did like this flipper remote. Vizio does include a full QWERTY keyboard on the back side of its remote, which is really cool for navigating apps and typing in passwords, doing searches, stuff like that. So it's a real help. We wish more manufacturers would include it because obviously this TV's pretty darn inexpensive, and to throw in that remote didn't add all that much to the price. The downside compared to the flipper found on some Samsung TVs is that this TV doesn't have Bluetooth, so you have to actually keep the remote aimed at the TV while you're typing. So unless you have something interrupting line of sight, that shouldn't be too difficult. TV also includes built-in Wi-Fi to access all those internet features, so we really like that. You don't have to run a wire to this TV, and the Wi-Fi worked very well in our testing. Of course, speaking of internet, it does include the Vizio's VIA applications platform, which includes Netflix, Amazon Video on Demand, Vudu, and all the major services. There's also Pandora. There isn't YouTube, however, but that's not really a big deal in our opinion. We did like the Rhapsody app, which of course only works for Rhapsody subscribers, allow you to stream unlimited music. There's also a few other apps. The interface, however, wasn't all that great. It includes this sort of strip along the bottom here. You can only see 4 at once, so you've got to scroll a lot if you have a lot of apps. Also, application discovery is not quite as advanced as a lot of the other TVs on the market. The connectivity on the Vizio is pretty darn good. Around back you'll find 2 HDMI. There's also a third on the side. We also like that the inputs are labeled good, better, best for people who are not too familiar with input quality. So basically just plug in HDMI and you'll be fine. So as you can see, the Vizio is very well featured, but on the downside its picture quality is not all that great in 2D. Its biggest flaw is relatively light black levels, which wash out the darker parts of the picture and make the entire image look a little bit flatter and with less pop than some of the competing entry-level TVs. Video processing was also a weak point. The Vizio doesn't handle 1080p 24 sources as well as some of the other TVs we've tested. On the flip side, its color accuracy was very good, and we did appreciate the matte screen, which rejected ambient light well. Finally, it does have better uniformity than many of the other LED TVs we've seen. 3D picture quality on the Vizio is a mixed bag. It does have passive 3D, which is brighter and has less crosstalk than active 3D in general, and that's very good. On the downside, there is some visible line structure and text and some flat fields. We also saw that the image was a little bit softer than some of the other TVs on the market, but again, 3D was pretty darn sharp all told. That's a quick look at the Vizio E3D0VX series, and I'm David Katzmeyer.